Welcome to the Doctors of Change, the podcast for practitioners, doctors, and healers who refuse to quit. This is where we honor the men and women who have walked through burnout, trauma, breakdowns, and breakthroughs, came out stronger on the other side. These are for the doctors who realized the greatest medicine they could ever practice was healing themselves first. Their stories, their lessons, scars, and victories will change you, inspire you, and wake up the leader within you. This is a new era of medicine, and the revolution starts here. Welcome to the Doctors of Change.
Welcome to Doctors of Change, Francisco. I'm so honored to have you in here. Today we're going to unpack the last 7 years of my life, essentially, and how I was introduced to you, a guide, a teacher, a mentor, somebody that I admire so much, has helped me through part of the biggest transformation of my entire life. And we're going to share a little bit about the start of that journey to all the way up to today in the path that we're taking together to support doctors, entrepreneurs who are doing their best but not able to quite have it all. They struggle with the responsibility of providing, of managing a team or a business, of their licensure, of being present with their family, their wife, their kids, and taking care of themselves. That's one of the biggest journeys in the world. And then on top of that, the dedication and the commitments most doctors went into healthcare to try to help people. And at one point they've realized not all the tools are there to help transform the patients the way they want. And so doctors usually have to go through their own healing journey. They have to go through their own transformation to come back to empowered, to know what they offer, the tools that they have truly has the infrastructure to make lasting change in their patients' lives. And these are doctors, providers, practitioners, healers, people that are made to make a difference in the world. They just need a little help and guidance like I did. So it was 2019. My health was failing. My body was hurting. I was nearly disconnected with my wife, my children, and despite building one of the most successful regenerative medicine practices in the world and licensed it all around the world, I was not happy. Me and my partner weren't aligned. So I was working with a functional medicine doctor in Texas, and she said, JR, why don't you go see this healer that I work with? I think that's going to offer you something. You've had all the best functional regenerative lifestyle knowledge, and you're still not feeling your best. So I went and saw him, and I was open and curious about what an expanded experience. She said mind, body, soul work, energy, and I went and I had a life-changing experience, and it showed me that I was going to have to do differently if I was going to want to come out on the other side with my family, with my health, with, surviving long term. I was really burning the candles at both ends, and that was my journey. And I came back, I split with my partner, I went and worked with another regenerative medicine doctor and tried ketamine and had one of the most expansive experiences where I saw old emotions stuck, beliefs, systems of thinking that have ran my whole life, and I got very curious. And I went and did a handful of other ethnogen experiences and psychedelics and plant medicine, and I did a handful of it, had one really rough experience, and signed up to go to Peru with a couple other mentors. And when I arrived, I met Francisco, and he was there on a tour with indigenous tribes and doing a lot of work in his past career. And I'll let him take it from there of where your path led up to us meeting in Peru, where you were the translator, apprenticing, learning, serving, all around the Amazon jungle and with different tribes, and in Europe with different projects that were helping humanity. So please tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you came to the path that we're on today.
Thank you, JR. Thank you. It's been a long while already into this path of the medicine, path of transformation, looking for some answers that just guide me to different questions. Yeah, basically this path started like around 20 years ago. I was coming out of studying law. Before I was in the army, so it was like accumulation of a lot of situations that guide me into like a breakdown of a lot of situations in my life. I had to start a journey. Since then, I've been traveling more than 20 years. I'm moving this message in where the main topic is the transformation. The main topic is how to improve as a human being, how to be a positive impact in my family and my community as well. to be the person that I really think that I am. And that was the breakdown about that, thinking that you're something and then realizing you're not that, and then start a full construct around that. I travel all over the world into this path, working mostly with permaculture places and medicine. I really feel and I believe that sustainability for human beings is super important. I believe that as much sustainable we are connected with nature, is possible the transformation of human beings and humanity into these new peaceful beings, and that I feel is really necessary for humanity to go into that direction. I understand it like that, and since then I've been working a lot. When we met in Sacred Valley of the Incas, was a really special gathering. Was a lot of people. We were in a tour, as you well say, in Peru, 8 months tour with them, supporting indigenous tribe. We opened a cultural center over there. It's a retreat cultural space, just to have these gatherings, more casual, more like it's really hard to get them around. The medicine is a really big part into all my path. It's been giving me a moment in where I can take care of myself, to go and do the deep work that I need to do to serve better to my community. That's the only way that we serve better to our communities, is by improving who we are. And that's my biggest message into the medicine, is just we're gonna be reflecting everything who we are into everyone, and we're gonna be impacting that. So I feel we have a choice. We can decide. We can choose some stuff over other stuff, and then we can create our own narrative that is more comfortable, that allow us to go to bed and sleep properly, that allow us to live without stress, that allow us to live without depression, and that allow us to live without anxiety. I feel since then all the efforts being to provide spaces for people to have these moments for transformation, moments for stop and reflecting a bit about our lives. We don't bring any answers for your life. We bring more questions and maybe more accurate for what you're looking for in life. Yeah, since then we've been creating organizations to support indigenous communities, to be able to open sanctuaries in different places in the world, so people can come, can gather, and we can share with the open heart around these master plans that open our hearts. So yeah, in all this path, since the last 7 years, I've been with my wife Kat, that she being like an incredible wife for me, transforming and connecting, bridging everything what need to be bridged between me and the Western civilization as well. So I'm really happy for that, and I'm really happy for her family into all this. She's been it was beyond what I thought when I found this complementary energy to grow together. So yeah, I'm really happy for all my path. I'm really happy for all what's coming. Also my brother, I'm really happy for being able to provide this medicine all over the world, to being able to open these conversations for people in these spaces.
Beautiful. So when I met you, we were working with the indigenous tribe, and it was the first night, and you had asked everybody to sit up, and the smoke was real thick in there. The music was real loud. It was a cultural shock for us. There was a whole family playing beautiful music, and you asked us all to sit, and we had just traveled. We rested maybe one day before we got there. And I remember about 2 hours after being told to sit up, everybody was laying down, and my back was on fire. It was hurting. And I called you over, and I'm like, Francisco, I'm not feeling the medicine. And you said, but you're not sitting up. And I said, but my back hurts. And you said, well, you're not broken. I'm like, well, what about all the knee surgeries I've had? What about all the injuries that I've had in rugby? My body is in physical pain. He's just like, you're not broken. I've worked with people that were paralyzed, people in wheelchairs, people that are sick and dying. If you believe it, you're going to be disempowered. If you do the work and show up and rise to the occasion and take ownership, then you will get through. And you served me another cup of medicine, and the medicine hit me deeper than I've experienced in the medicine so far. And I went to just an incredible space so far out there I couldn't even imagine, but I felt the power of healing in my body. And then Hot Babe put me back into my body, and it was the most opening experience for me. A big release, big change. And we talk about it often. People are looking for those big moments in medicine. Westerners are wanting that big explosion experience. They're wanting to be healed. But as you often say, this medicine simply opens the door of awareness to what needs to be addressed. The foundations, eating right, your relationships, your attachments to different things, people, substances, living empowerment versus stuck in emotions. Tell us a little bit about the importance of that work, of the integration of the path, because this is a process. Very rarely, and I know you've seen people like open up and re-energize the desire to live and find hope and meaning, but the process of transformation for people with the medicine.
Totally. I always share from what my experience, what I lived. And I lived also the situation to think that I can do it by myself. Mm-hmm. I had this situation happening several times in my life until I found ayahuasca. Mm-hmm. And then I did it by myself, and it wasn't there at all the result expected. All the opposite. I felt that I went like down and super depressed during 3 years because I did it in a super disrespectful way. Now I understand that. At that moment, I was just trying things like everything else, no? And then I realized there's some stuff that are not recreational. And then I start realizing that nothing is recreational. You're always working something. Mm-hmm. Even this laugh that you think is recreational, you were needing to have this laugh or this cry or this walk or feeling like you were needing that. The medicine always needs you what you need. So from there, to understand that there was a gap between the indigenous knowledge and the Western society. There is a big gap over there that need to be bridged. And there's a lot of people that we live in this global community on these days that we are able to bridge this gap. I feel that when I felt part of this community, I start to feel much more peaceful into my decisions, more in harmony also with what I was doing, with what I was thinking. I also feel that mentorship is important because we don't know what we don't know. And that's the truth. For more than, you can believe you're super smart, but you always don't know something. And it's more probable that you don't know something than you know something. So I feel that that's why in medicine we talk about the ego death experiences. Mm-hmm. Because of these things. I can do everything by myself, and this is feeding only yourself. And this medicine is an invitation always for the community to be connected.
So I want to talk about that because a year prior to meeting you, I had a so-called ego death. I thought I was meant to take this medicine because I had already done like 8 services or 8 ceremonies. My life was changing. I was improving. The pain in my body was improving. Everything was on an upward trajectory, but yet my home base wasn't right yet. And the guy told me like I needed to fix myself and I needed to fix my family before I could help and serve each other. Then I went to Peru, spent a year with you, saw you a year later in Austin after an NLP training. I was learning everything from energy, quantum physics, all about all of this, religion, and tying it all in together. And I saw you and I was like, I feel like I'm not ready to serve, but I'm ready to be on the path. I believe healthcare is missing the energetic, the emotional, the spirit. It has all the greatest tools, technology, supplements, peptides, stem cells, lifestyle. There's so much things that you can do, but if your emotions, your beliefs, your habits, your relationships are out of alignment, it's an uphill battle. So I decided now that I had awareness, like that I needed that guidance, that mentorship, that healthcare still needed to this. And if I was going to be part of changing healthcare, which was always one of my hopes before, then I had to learn what now, like you said, I had no awareness or clue what I didn't know. And it opened me up to a whole different world. Now I believe most all is energy, frequency, vibration, your mental state, your emotional, your how you show up. And then you can absolutely have what you want when you learn to show up in a way. And it's been the hardest transformation of my life the last 7 years, has been working. I'm here on a 10-day apprentice with, medicine and learning as we prepare. And I'm still doing the same work. I did great with beliefs. I did great on relationships, navigating my emotions, but now getting that foundation, my body's so healthy, from deep parasite cleanses to the right daily routines with breath, medicine, meditations, the tools that allow you to be on all times and to rest and to recover and learn that pace. That is still the deep work. And that's why I'm finally feeling like that foundational piece will guide this next chapter of being in alignment with the medicine in the path. So it's been a long path. So we'll talk about the different areas, but with what you've seen on your years in the path, you see a lot of people that go have a weekend and they're ready to start serving medicine, or they've got a certification, versus doing the deep work and being embodied themselves. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know a lot of people that are new to this are doctors, or when you come to the Amazon, it's not like a textbook, it's not there. But how do you know when you're getting somebody that is in integrity of the medicine, has done the work, knows how to integrate different medicines? What would you tell somebody beginning their journey of searching where to begin, important factors of the training that you've gone and now the standards that you hold today?
We talk a lot about this, the call, no? To listen the call. Now I feel when you have people that is so close to these experiences, it's kind of a call. Then there's other 50% that is always depending like what you choose, no? What's going to be your decision. Now I feel that we can, there's no kind of certification, and as you say really well, I feel the health industry is turning into this mixed stuff with holistic the disciplines that you start to apply into clinics, and it's going to happen. It's naturally happening right now without even forcing it. It's just happening because the people already realize, everybody's realizing that this spiritual aspect is needed. The other aspect is there. It's 100%. It's working. It's not a problem. That the issue is that there's nothing to support this, and that's what the spirituality. There's nothing to support emotional, mental state in a way that is connected with the physical aspect. So after saying that, why I'm saying that also is because you don't learn this knowledge as you learn the things in the Western society. You learn this mostly for oral traditions, staying close to the families that do this. This is the way that we practice as an organization. If we're going to open something, it had to be linked with someone. Why? Because then you can trace. It's traceability, it's credibility, is honesty, is truth, where all the things are coming. You're not just making up. You just went to a ceremony a weekend and then you're serving something. It's happened a lot. Even within a year, I think it's too fast to do something like that. For me, it took me 12 years to feel comfortable to fully do this. 12 years. Yeah, I feel confident right now. And how I knew that I can do this, because someone told me, someone with a lot of reputation and respect told me, you can do this, do it. Then you feel confident for sure. Then you feel really confident.
It's a process, and that's my encouragement, is either seek somebody else that has had lots of training and experience, or, that is more of a ceremonial way than recreationally. That's where I hear people have, well, I had a bad experience, or I didn't know, or I didn't feel anything. And there's the distance between highly experienced and guided and when to do more or less, or distractions, and there's a lot that comes to it. And this is big work, and it's meant to be over a period of time, not just a one weekend. But you see that, and that's what you experience. But that's my encouragement, is to be in a program for a period of time. Work with them before, after, during the space, because the work is a long growing process, and there's a lot to go through. For me, I'm so thankful I had my family to go back to, and my wife, is I had a place and people to work for and show up from. I knew how I was relied upon. So I had a container. Not everybody has the accountability or the structure when they go back to really ground in and have the space to heal and transform. Because like I said, it's the most difficult journey in my life. But then dietas. So you invited me to dieta in the Sacred Valley of Incas in Peru. And that's where dieta began, where the deep work, where you're a little more isolated. You are guided by you and another indigenous Shipibo member, and you and Kat, and you took a few of us through quite the incredible process. And learning some of the deep question. Because when you get into medicine, if you don't have a translator or a guide, you don't always understand what's going on. It's a lot to interpret. Yeah, it may be a beautiful, or you're clearing stuff, but to truly understand it from medicine holders that have been lineage after lineage holding this space, to be told before you're even in the medicine, oh, I see you're here to work on you and your family and to enjoy life a little bit more. You even told me, like, I still had some back pain going on then. He's just like, when you start stepping forward on your path and your calling, then your back pain will go away. And, after that first dieta, and about 6 months after with the work that I was doing, finally pain-free after 20 years. So my life started to transform through dietas and beginning the path, knowing that someday I would feel called to medicine. And what I've learned through the dietas and post is what I've found, like, what is my job as a bridge in this space, to work with people like you that have got 20 years of experience, or indigenous holders that have lifetimes of this experience. How can I be a bridge, instead of thinking I was the gate? And I learned, well, I've always been a builder. That's why some of these integrated centers, medical with fitness, wellness with healthcare, sales with marketing in medicine, that's been some of my visionary skills and qualities of building some of the top cash practices, is I learned about the health triangle transformation. On the bottom left corner are people like you, or the medicine holders, or the doctors, or the practitioners, or the skilled specialists with gut or brain. That's the medical healers, the professionals. And whether you're a health coach or a nutritionist, all the same to me. Your calling and your dedication is to help people in life. On the right hand, that's what I've had the luxury of being in, is integrative healthcare, stem cells, peptides, hormones, lifestyle, functional medicine, hyperbarics, red lights, hypoxia, you name it, all the greatest tools in the world. And then on the top, I believe in guides, people like you, teachers, that you meet the right people at the right time, that hold the right accountability, the right message, that don't let you have standards less than what you're saying you want in life. No judgment, but if you say you want something, somebody that's going to hold you accountable to it with permission. And then community, having massive transformation. If none of your family's into healthcare, how are you going to be healthy? If none of your friends are into healing or personal transformation, it's very difficult. So the right community of other doctors, that's why I love holding our spaces together with the doctors, Francisco, because if there's not other like-minded people, they'll be more guarded, and they don't feel open or connected to share, because not all the people have the same risk or experience or exposure or reputation concerns that doctors have to hold so highly of. So that is the other component, the guides, the coaches. But in the middle is what I call you, is you got to be ready. You got to take ownership. You got to listen to what is being presented, not take it personal, and just show up. And you can learn. And over the years, I went a lot to medicine at first, but now that I'm on the path, I would go more. But I have family and responsibilities, and now I take doctors a handful of times a year with you in collaboration. But my calling is integrated in healthcare, legal psychedelic centers in Oregon and Colorado, and inside of centers, helping people breathe, eat, and have the nutrition. So once they get this information, they go back to their clinics and they are doing those things, but with the foundation, taking care of your body, resting, sleeping, eating good food, learning to regulate your nervous system, breath, yoga, cold, all of the things that are important. And that is what whole being healthcare is to me. And Francisco, we've worked with many different types, and I'd like to kind of explore and navigate the different types of weekends, transformation, week-longs, dietas, kind of start. Like when we come to stateside, we usually hold a 2 or 3 day treat in Colorado, Oregon, or a legal place in California, or a church, either way, but it's a 2 or a 3 nighter. Tell the difference of somebody that's curious why that's a good first step in initiation to learning a little bit about the medicine and the importance of the values, the respect of the people, the medicine, in the space in general.
We have protocols and a lot of ways of coming to a result that you come to a retreat, but I feel everything starts with a conversation. Just a conversation to know where are you at, how are your emotions, how is your spiritual body moving into this. And then we go into the protocols, no? About what can fit better for you. with the years we start to create different kind of offers according what we start to see what was needed in our communities. In United States we saw there was a lot of hurry, I understand.
Busy entrepreneurs and doctors
Really
and
busy.
beyond. That's just my community.
Absolutely. Busy people all the time, full on. So then, not because that's how we believe, not because you're in this lifestyle you don't have access to medicine. We have to create something if you really believe into this. We have to create a middle step into this. So basically that's how started the weekend retreats. And normally we don't do that. It's only one ceremony. This is the traditional one ceremony per month, and it's. But we have to adapt this because we want to impact the community. We want to reach. We're open to do that. So then appeared this weekend retreat, 2 ceremonies in a row. Why? Because we saw out of observation that, still in the hurry, but at least they have something to work on it for the next 6 months to a year that probably they won't come. We know they won't come because it's a lot to work on it, and they have a full schedule for the next 6 months. So we also want to impact them. So this, call it the head of the arrow, no? We're opening this path over there, and where it's more needed, but there's no time. Is this hurry that can be really complicated for human beings, but not because you're passing through this, we don't gonna reach, or we don't gonna think about how to reach you. So then we have,
which it can be game changing. We've had a lot of groups. I've seen people's lives completely change, but for most of them, you and I are following up with people. You want them to take that second or the third step, but there's fear sometimes.
Absolutely.
And that's why I like the week retreats. When you're there a week or even the 10 days, like, you are getting full transformation. You have time to sink it in, begin new habits when that neuroplasticity is so long. So tell me about some of the, like, right now I'm here on a 10-day individual reset. This may be for a high performer, an entrepreneur, somebody that doesn't want community or need it. They're just really learning the medicine or looking for the deepest personal healing. And that's what I'm doing here. I've been hard at it for the last year and a half on the road, building big infrastructure, and super excited to get this opportunity to come here and apprentice. This is the work that I'm doing here this week. We've been working together, Francisco and I, for 5 years and 4 years in apprenticeships through dietas and this training right now. So super excited for that process, so we can incorporate some of those power plants in the United States at different times. But tell me the difference of some of these solo or 2 or 3 people. We're here on beautiful land in South America. We have the opportunity to go deep.
Absolutely. I feel that our medicine community and the medicine community all over the world have a lot of spaces to share in group. It's all about the family. It's all about that. Now we start to see also there was a lot of processes that didn't get open because of lack of privacy, excess of people, or not even that. It's like you're just sensitive and like it's too much, like it's too much.
It's a distraction. It's still
everything can be.
It's great if you're trying to meet other people and connect, but for the deepest private restorative work, 1-on-1, 1-on-2, 1-on-3.
Exactly.
Or not 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, but very small groups, personal care.
Yeah, really custom. Everything is custom. The food is custom. The conversation are all custom. There's no like random things said there because everything is meant for you. We know what you're doing here. Exactly what you're doing here. Probably we know most of your family if you're coming for a deeper experience because
But you do, what I'm here, over the last 2 days, what I've gone through, the big work that, where's my next step? And that's what I'm here. And by day 2, I feel I've cleared that. There's always, deeper layers. You never know what comes up. But the big work after, 2 ceremonies, I'm excited to go home fresh. But there's more work.
Absolutely. And I feel these longer retreats really good. The weekend, something to open. Is gonna be for sure. It's gonna be something sometimes shocking, super opener, but there are layers. Then it's not like that. It's just the opening. Then it get more stable, and you start to work into what you need to work. Then you have deeper experiences like dieta also, and then you stop.
And it's 10 days or longer, more isolation, more training, more inner work.
Absolutely.
Less restorative, like spa, completely custom recover you, versus deep training work, dieta, which we've done in the jungle, we've done in the Sacred Valley, and isolation, internal work, deep process, deep work in the master plant and the ayahuasca. So 2 dietas later. We've done one in Inca and one in the jungle. What's the difference for people of those? Why would they choose one of those versus another? And why I'm saying this is we have these experiences throughout the years together, whether it's a private entrepreneur or doctor, we're working on a complete journey, whether we're doing the weekend in the United States or once a year or once every other year and a half, a deep dieta for somebody who feels called to the path, really looking to connect with the medicine holders, the indigenous medicine holders, to have the nature-based experience, the high-end, we're the one in Sacred Valley. We get one excursion and see, some beautiful sights. But tell me the difference between the two in your mind for somebody that's ever heard of dieta or been curious about the deep work.
Absolutely. We have different formats of dieta. We've been perfecting this and adapting because everything have to be adapted. Everything. The cultures are different, so it requires an adaptation, and over the adaptation you need to interpret the things. So everything goes over like a pillow and not over like a rock.
So meaning I went to 2 indigenous different maestros. You translated for different tribes, different people, so there's not showing up and like this, that, and I know a couple of people have done that, even Dr. Friends, and they got through it, but we want to as an experience as possible. All the logistics pre-planned, so you can go internally. Absolutely. So that you're the bridge, and being able to translate. You do your own personal dietas with them prior to bringing people, so you know the lay of the land, and there's no shocks or surprises.
Absolutely, and what we do in Sacred Valley is we've been living in the United States also, and we know how you like to live, and sometimes it's a bit distracting, all the elements. Also, this distraction helps you to focus, but sometimes we don't have a month or 3 months to do this work that is needed to do, and there's other more urgent needs in the spirit that need to be attended. So that's how you come to these formats of dietas, in where you are in a really comfortable space, just focusing, working in what you came here to do. So basically it's much more comfortable one, and the other one is much more challenging. I don't think one is good, or what I feel can be steps in where you expose yourself to a bigger challenge, and then to another bigger challenge, and not you just go and drop into something that you didn't know anything about that, or that you misunderstood. This happened a lot, that you misunderstood what was that, and then you're in a situation that what are you gonna do? So that's why we create this path, and then with the dietas, then we have apprenticeship. If you're looking to serve medicine, if you're looking to record an album, if you're looking to make a book, all these we can guide you until you have the physical aspect of everything. And that's why we open these spaces in Chile. Is to have studios, to have something to co-create.
And that's the beauty, is we're both bridges, Francisco. You're the bridge from the indigenous, and I'm the bridge from you to be able to translate into the United States to doctors. That I do believe the evolution of the future of medicine does include personal empowerment, learning that our bodies can heal and regenerate themselves, and we can remember to be empowered. We just might need the right guides, the tools, and community to help guide us through the process, because it's not easy. And that's the one thing that I recommend to everybody is be ready to do the work. Know that you're worthy of it, that you deserve it, and that your family, I know the work that I'm doing goes backwards and forwards in my family history, and it certainly is in my having level. I was, nearly divorced, struggling health, struggling mentally, and now I feel I have it all. Great family, work is aligned with my career again, reintegrated back with Rejuve and coaching doctors. Everything had to not be destroyed, but it had to be realigned. So most people think, well, I might lose my mind, or I might lose my thought. Well, you might have been so far out of alignment, you had to let go of some things or change how you're operating. But you don't lose your skills. You don't lose your passion, your relationships, your ability to rebuild and recreate from alignment. And that's what I do, a little bit more home each time, more emotionally regulated, more happy, more joyous, more free in my body, as we talk about, my self protocol going home and into this. So it's ongoing process and journey. And, not only do we get to be bridges and take people to beautiful locations, like I'm staring out at the ocean right here, right now, it's just incredible. What about the nonprofit? I know you're a bridge back to the tribes and supporting pages and healers and tribes in ecosystems where this medicine make its way in safe, respectful, indigenous ways, but gives back to the community, the earth, and the roots of the whole medicine.
Absolutely, absolutely. We create a full profit to do that, no? In a serious way by gathering energy from one side of the world, taking it to the other side of the world. This year we are helping in the foundation of a new village in the Shaninawa land. It's a village that naturally grows over there because there's a lot of young people, artists that they want to serve medicine, they want opportunities, and we work closely with that. As you know, it's not the first time working into this. That's what we have to do, the non-profits, because it was so recurrent, it was so repetitive, the thing that we were doing, that we had to make it formal. So yeah, every year we run fundraisings, different crowdfunding campaigns to basically concrete. We have a really good team in Brazil. Also, we have operations here in Chile. And the idea for our nonprofit is that any indigenous community that is in a need, we can cooperate. If they have something to offer around their culture that they want to show, that's the exchange that we're looking for. We want to preserve that. Most of the healing arts that we practice come from these indigenous tribes. Not only from Brazil or Peru, from all over the world. We've been studying this spirituality in the Himalaya and different places in where we cultivate our spirituality. And these are all these initiatives are to expand the message. And the big message is peace for humanity. That's the only thing we're looking for. But it's really, really hard to get during these times. But despite that, I feel it's just a test to get more into us, more into our hearts. I feel it's coming back to nature, humans. There's no other way.
I mean, that's the biggest lessons for me. Even as you see the intro video here is like, I know I've always had a heart for helping, coaching, healing. That is my passion. And from a full cup is a different place. From learning how to do it with nature. Like literally I can feel the pain in my neck from my body and years of injury, and giving it to the ground as I give love and the thoughts and the things that were stuck in there that no longer serves in the body, and healing with nature as we eat all the beautiful food on this retreat, as we ground the ocean in the water and put our feet into that ocean, healing Arctic water, and it makes a difference. Just as we're talking is like, it's been a while since I've done a parasite cleanse, how to do this with nature and the plants. There's other ways to do it too, but nature is one of the greatest teachers. Learning how to breathe with it, learning how to recover, learning how to be within the seasons. That is the path that I believe has more intelligence on this earth. And then, your higher power, whatever that be, connecting to that with your spirit and your soul, and get the information that you need to go back and be the best husband, best parent, best partner, best friend, best co-worker, to be the true CEO of your life. And I often deliver keynote presentations on being the CEO of your life. And what is that to me is to come from a place of empowerment. You don't have to be a victim. We've all had hard things happen to us. But move that. Give it to God, give it to the earth, and step forward to what your soul's purpose is meant to be. And it's scary, and it takes courage. Even if you see it one time, you'll get scared, but keep being held up, and know with the right community, the right guidance, you can step through. You will make progress if you feel called to do that. And it takes a little discomfort, and it's okay. You're there as I'm going through my little stuff, and smile, ask if I need anything once in a while, and no, you get through your process. And at first I need a little bit more guidance. Now just kind of hover, and we'll get through it together. So I invite you to join us this summer in a short little weekend if you feel called to more an indigenous experience. A couple times a year we have those integrated retreats, and anytime anybody personally feels called, and not some of the larger group ones, we'll have a conversation of what is best for you. What plant, what place, how long, and consider what transformation looks like to you. What do you really want to base this work around? What are you ready to show up for?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the invitation. These events, these short events, transformative opening, just to get to know each other. For us, it's really important that aspect to be. We are one, and we want to make you feel that we are one, that we're supported. We are walking this path together, want it or not. We are. So it's better to be conscious about that and to support each other in this path. And then anybody that feel the call to go deeper with you, my brother, it is really important. I feel that the bridges are everything. We have to reach the gap bridging cultures because this is going to make much more rich our own culture. We think that it's going to disappear. No, anyways, cultures transform. Now, what if we can do a transformation in a positive way, how we see health, how we see education? I feel right now in the world we have the possibility of doing that. I feel the resources are there. I feel the knowledge is there. The people are really smart on these times. I feel we can go to reflect into what is better for us and for our families. And I feel that these spaces that we create is just an opportunity to reflect around these topics.
Yeah.
So, my brother.
Yeah, it's like you said it there. It comes down to, what do you want? What are the values that matter most to you? That's what we talk a lot about, is the values and showing up to them and being in integrity of them. And, with you having that foundation of your values and what you want, let's do the thing that's scary. Most people are held back. It's the thing they're scared of. Oh, I'm scared of cold water. I'm scared of, plant medicines. What? But if you stay stuck, if you find other solutions, amazing. I believe there are other solutions. But for me personally, I was already open to all those things. Plant medicine was the biggest change with the right people, with the right, self-trust and continued desire personally from within possible. And, I know that too. I'm not special, and I've came so much closer to alignment and live in alignment most of the time. But that's why I come back to these things, to clear and reground and reset and, go back with the full cup. So I invite you to join us. So thank you for this episode. Thanks to you and Kat, to all the mentorship, the guidance, the tough love along the way, the truth, the care, the compassion, the love for my family, everything that you've shown me along the way. I'm always forever grateful. And thank you to the indigenous teachers that you've brought in that have been a part of my healing journey, to the mentors that have got me there, to the plants, to the Holy Spirit, to my family for always holding space for me to be here. This is part of my path. And, even in the United States, it's not always the easiest to claim that. That's why I have the things that are safe and protected, a part of what I always do, and coming to South America and doing this in a way where everybody feels safe and guided. But just like there's a responsibility when you believe you are a bridge to this, because there's gaps in integrating all this. And the difference that I've seen in the couple hundred people that I've seen in medicine over the time is, I can't think of anything best if you've been called or hoping or ready to take ownership for your journey.
Amazing, my brother. Thank you for this episode also, my brother. And the invitation is there to work together. There's no goals into this. It's just to feel supported while we're doing what we need to do now.
Yeah. No place to get to, but feel the call. Link in the discovery call below. I'd be happy to talk to you, see if it's a right fit. And ultimately, if you have heard of these medicines and want to study and support indigenous tribes, please consider any donations to the nonprofit so we can continue to do the work to help different communities.
Thank you.
Hausch, hausch.
Hausch, hausch.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Doctors of Change. If this conversation moved you, inspired you, or expanded of what you believe is possible, share it with another doctor or a leader who's ready to rise. Together, we amplify this movement, and together we transform healthcare, community, and the future of all humanity. Until next time, heal yourself, lead with love, and keep becoming the doctor of change you were born to be.